Okay, here will be my poor attempt to explain M1A1 interior. Um, I'm not professional at this, but I will try to explain what I know. Um, Here is the main gunner's primary site, where you press your head into, and you will see then what you will see from GPS site from here, gunner's primary site. And if I'm not entirely mistaken, gunner's auxiliary site is somewhere located to near the gun. I'm not exactly sure of its location. Could be here maybe. But gunner's primary site is here, and as you can see, there is these small hatches or doors that you can close as well. And those doors are located here. Site is now closed. You're not able to see through it. And when you open them, you should be able to see through. Yep. And if I'm not mistaken, these same doors apply as well here. Here's it's not really visible, but if you zoom in with any key, you will see this. And there is your vision block that you can look around with. And these doors might affect. Yep, they do. So you cannot use the vision blocks when the side doors are closed. Now, I actually saw there's something that I'm pretty curious about, so is there anything that you can click here? Okay, oh, thank God there was nothing. I was afraid that there would be something. Now, gunner's primary site is here. Vision block is located here. It's a little bit hard to access. I think easier way to access is by using F4 key. F far 4. And to get back, use F1. And to shortcut to gunner's primary site, GPS is F2. Oh, I have those doors closed, do I? No, those should be open. It's looking at the sky. Yep, F2 key for gunner's primary site, and F3 key for the auxiliary site, that is your emergency site, is located next to the gun. And is not affected by the doors, I think. It's in a small tiny hole, and it shows exactly what the gun is showing to you. Apparently when I don't see this thermal text here, the doors are open. Now, most of the time you don't want to be using these things here, like going into this view and clicking these. But since you and some others may be interested of knowing what these keys do, I'm going to try to explain these and what happens from these keys. I think you're looking for immersion and knowledge, so let's provide that to you here. So, right now there is on the gunner's primary site, GPS, there is a thermal site equipped, and it's in low magnification. As you can see here, there is a thermal magnification. So it's in low magnification, and when you want to zoom out, let's go look this here and zoom on. Okay, there are some targets. Let's keep it there. And now we zoom out, we use 10 times magnification, and let's see how it looks now. Way better, doesn't it? Alright. And what we can do with the thermal site, sometimes it can be useful to change the polarity to be able to watch certain kind of environment, or maybe your eyes get tired, you can change the polarity from here. This is basically it changes what is hot, and if hot is black or hot is white. So as you can see, white is hot here. Now tracks are up. When vehicle is moving, tracks generate a lot of heat, and same goes for engine compartment. As you can see, engine compartment is very hot and tracks are very hot, and when you fire with the barrel is very hot. So let's change polarity, and now, wow, it looks entirely different, doesn't it? These can be useful in some situations. You may be more comfortable with it being like this, like black is hot, aim for black, look for black things. And I'm using a shortcut key and key, and like negative. And there is I think there is shortcut key for changing the polarity. I think that was a plus key. Mistaken. I think, let's see. Yeah, it's minus key. Numpad minus. You change polarity from that. Even the ring to go, but this actually simulates that you have your hand there and you can switch it, and you are not taking your eyes off the target, and you can change the polarity. And the plus key changes between the day side. And with that you can zoom in and zoom out. Let's go check that where to change between the day side and the normal. Seems to be like here. I'm using N key in the cockpit to zoom here, and well, these two seem to be synchronized, as you can see. So let's take thermal mode off, and we should be see a day side, and thermal mode on, and there is thermal. So that's your plus key on the numpad. If you really want to use, you can use it here, or you can just use the plus key. I think most players use the plus key because it's faster, or the minus key for the change in the polarity. To change between the main gun and coax, you can click it here, and you can change if it fires main guns, you will blast target with the saber, or with the coax, and you will be firing with the, well, most apparently with the machine gun. Coaxing machine gun mounted in the next to barrel, I think is.
We're taking fire here.
Seems to be this thing right here. Not sure if here's keys. No, there is no manual trigger that I could find up. And it seems to be right where the little bit over the auxiliary side. So here's how to change between main gun and coax, or just simply M key, main M key to change that. That was the key to change the thermal, and it's, well, I'm not sure about where it is right now. So we have thermal low magnification right now. What else to test here? Here you can see a selector for different kind of ammunition. You have a sabote, ambient stuff and heat. Um, Not really sure about. I know ambient is a programmable ammunition, multi-purpose rounds. I'm not sure what is stuff. Um, Sabot is kinetic energy penetrator, and heat is. I'm not going to explain those here. I'm not good at that, but basically, on let's say that on a Leopard series, loader change when a loader pushes the round into the gun breech, he will decide click on the what kind of ammunition there is in the round. On M1, gunner has to do that. So when commander tells you to load Sabo, you have to gunner has to when the Sabot goes in the breach by the loader, gunner has to index Sabo. So basically, it's done here. Um, just press it with the mouse and then move the cursor and it will change. So when you are going to fire Sabo next, you want to be there Sabo that you are using correct firing settings. If you are going to use Sabot are used against tanks and yeah, against tanks really. Everything else you are most likely using heat. And in some cases there is more likely to be ambat rounds, I think, because these are multi-purpose rounds, good against helos or good against helicopters, helicopters or infantry, because those can detonate in the air. And I'm not really sure what this stuff is, but basically Sabot for Sabot, heat for heat, and I think it sounds like embat if commander is yelling you that load embat. So when a loader yells Sabo up, heat up, change it to heat or Sabo according what loader yells to you. Good indication is to follow what your commander is going to tell you, like gunner Sabo tank fire, then you know that there is Sabotron coming next if it isn't already. Now we have to change this from the keyboard. Insert is a default key for Sabot, and delete is default key for heat. Insert for Sabot, delete for heat ammunition too. I think home and end keys are for ammunitions that are special ammunitions. So insert and delete keys for Sabo and heat to have correct firing setting for your round that you will hit on the first target. Another important thing that you want to be doing is a correct kind of lacing of target. Correct kind of lace, basically it is either last return or first return. When you lace a target, you will send a beam of laser into the target, and using a first or laser return target will mean that you're either going to use a first return or last return. Now, how that could change? It can change if the target is so far that is actually small enough that part of your laser beam, that is, if I'm not entirely mistaken, size of this circle here. So in this case, some of the laser beam would miss the target, go under it or go over it. So in this case, you want to be using first laser return. While let's say there would be bushes or some kind of obstacles in your way. bush or obstacle trees or something, and you would see the target and you would know that the last returning beam would likely to be from the target, then you would want to use last place return. Not sure what is default key for it. Well, I'm using a Finnish keyboard, you have to find out what is the default key for it. You can find it pressing Alt and C key, and lace, type here lace, and that from there you should find the default key, that is a Finnish letter, so you can find what is the key for you that works on that. First lace, last lace return. And why I was talking about this was that you have that same option in case if you are not over here. First or last return, as it says here. Here's your tooltip. First return, last return. And when you lace the target, okay. Got my turret. There. Got the distance on it, and let's see if it changes on first lace return. No, it didn't. Stick. Okay, last lace return. Under the target, it says your beam goes under the target, and you get a much higher, bigger number than with the first lace return. Wow, 100 meters difference there. And let's see, last lace return. What if I would miss the target? Here's the last lace return here, and using a lace. What is? The hell is happening here? Okay. Right. Not sure what this is about. Maybe someone more experienced can explain it to me. I was in understanding that this is something about the lead, but no, and I'm using more my firing mode. Check it. Not about that. Aha! Guess it was this. I was using coax. See if this solves the thing. Yeah. I think it was biggest problem was there that I was using different kind of ammunition coax its either distance was not great enough or something. On the M1A1 your side mirrors, if I explain it correctly. Yep, your side mirrors are not think how to explain. Those are static. Those don't move. Those don't rotate in same way as in M1A2 SEP. Now I might be talking bullshit. Someone please correct me if I do. But this is how I have understood it. And in that case, when the side mirrors are not following where the gun is pointing, you have this moving crosshair that whenever you lace, it will give you ballistic computer will move your crosshair to the location where the gun is, where it wants you to point. So if I'm correct here, gun is pointing where your sight is pointing, and that location where the crosshair is, it's where you are supposed to fire at the moving target. On M1 SEP, it will automatically, it's an entirely different thing. I'm going to show it to you here. Moving target on M1 SEP, you lace and your sight stays on it. Gun will move. Your sight will rotate to adjust distance, and your gun and sight will be pointing at. Your sight will be pointing at the target, while your gun will be looking over the target, so that it will fire at the target location. It will fire so that round will land in the location where your sight is pointing at. Okay, did I get myself into trouble? Good. Back to these controls. Main GPS sight magnification. I think the same applies as well to day sight magnification. Let's check that out. Off.
Roger.
No, it doesn't. Where is day sight magnification? Day sight magnification. Not sure where it is. Pretty sure that I discovered it on the M1 SEP, but not discovering it here. Oh, here. Yeah. Here's the day sight magnification. 3 times, 10 times. 3 times, 10 times. Day sight magnification, thermal magnification. Those are separate and can be very useful. Let's say you want to engage. You want to be scanning with the thermal at a wide area, so you use low magnification, and to engage target you use high magnification on day sight. So change thermal, scan for targets. When you see something hit, change day sight. You can engage, fire at it, and you can see after firing you can see if it's on the flames or not. That's what I use at the Leopards most of the time. If you don't agree, just change it to the thermal and zoom in. That's so easy. You can use thermal all the time. I tend to use a lot of day sight. Now, what else to explain here? I explained the main gun coax, I explained indexing these. Um, here's one funky key that you may want to test. Panel lights to test if everything is working. Let's press it once more time. We can see that everything is working as it's supposed to. Not actually sure if these lights will set up in case if there is a trouble. Next thing we might want to do is to teach you how to use emergency sites, emergency sites, emergency mode and normal mode. Emergency mode and normal mode is here, fire control mode. Basically you click here and you pull the mouse up or down, up for an emergency and down for manual. You can do same with the command dot key. Yep. Check your keyboard settings once again for this from Alt plus C and find there normal for fire control normal, fire control emergency, as easy as that. So you will learn your quick case for the changing fire mode. That is important. Emergency mode will provide power for you to turn turret fast, but I think it will disable some of the features. I think if it's a ballistic computer that you will lose there. But you should be able to have turret power like you have, and you are still able to engage even without the ballistic computer. See if that's true. If it's true, then okay, why is that reticle moving? By the way, that is one thing that can happen in the M1 series. If you laze too many times, you will lose your laser rangefinder, and it's not working after that. You will simply overheat it until it breaks. That's what I just managed to do there. And in case if you lose your electrics or hydraulics, you want to go into manual mode, and that's basically when your arrow keys will be usable. You can use your arrow keys to engage targets when you don't have turret power or electric power. And not sure if those are. Oh, there it is. Elevation, gun elevation, you see here, and sideway movement. Okay. Now this is actually a good thing that we don't have a laser rangefinder, because now I can teach you how to enter the manual range. I'm not 100% sure of this, but we'll try. I discovered that basically none of these keys don't seem to work here. Just this range seems to work. We can press these things, but these don't seem to do anything. I think in real life you can index ammunition temp, barometric pressure, air temp lead, and count from these to set up your firing ballistic computer to correct settings. But in Steelbeast, what we can do in personal edition is index the range, manual range. If you know the distance to target, or if you are able to calculate distance from using mils. If you know how many meters the target is width or height, you can calculate what is the distance. For example, Leopard is roughly 3 meters, if I'm not wrong, 2.7. I don't know, I'm on a reticle. So you could be able to calculate distance. If it that you know the distance, you can enter it here by pressing range and then enter it here, let's say 100. Okay. Clear. Range 100, 2000. Enter. And we should have 100, 2000 there. Now if you want to have there another distance, let's say 2400, 2400, hit enter. There, 2400. And none of these others seem to work. That should give you a good start for gunners, and in case, not sure if it's modeled in Steelbeast, but in extreme case when you don't have electric power at all, you may have to get in the situation where you have to use not sure what is name of this emergency trigger. By pressing this, you're going to fire gun manually, and I think it's shift space, where the space is normal firing. Shift space will trigger this, and what is going to happen when you press this is that you're going to fire your gun. Not affected here. Alright. That should be all about the gunner. Now I'm going to go briefly the commander's position. There's not awfully a lot here, so that's it. There is not awfully a lot here. You have this keyboard here with a lot of keys. Let's zoom in with the N key. A lot of lights that will unknowns of situation awareness, and I think you can change in real life some of these things, but let's see. No change between normal and emergency mode. Anyways, these are what you can use. I'm not sure what is. Can't seem to be using this even when there is something. So if we want to use smokes to cover a vehicle, we can use left or right salvo of smokes. And let's use left one. Actually, it seems to cover the front of the vehicle really well.
Traverse right.
So I'm telling gunner to traverse right. And let's use the another smokes. Alternatively, you can just use the tab key to do this. And sometimes you probably will end up doing that accidentally. For the commander's place, you have F1 key for this main location, F2 key to look at what gunner sees. This will take you directly at the gunner's position, and then, if I'm not entirely wrong, use a palm switch key, B key to override target, and even to fire from his location, like this. And then F3 key will take you to your periscope. You can look around, and in M1 series, M1A1 series, you have this vertical machine gun, and to get this up and down, you have to use arrow keys, basically your hand crank. and space for wiring. And 50 cal is actually pretty deadly, so you can use these even to engage some slightly armored vehicles. This you can always use your vision blocks. They're actually pretty darn good on M1 series to look around. And while you want to be safe, you can hit the B key to close your hats. Well, it makes more sense to look around from vision blocks. And while you want to be more aware of your surroundings, just hit Z and Q key. Q key to get up and to open hats. For first position you get it like this, and you can look around safely, and there is some kind of glass in your front. And one more will open hats completely, and you will be exposed, possibly even to artillery fire, and that can potentially knock you out in Steelbeast. As for driver, there's sadly no interior modeled. Only thing that you really have is your speed meter. That's it for M1A1. I hope this is some help to you. This is Lumi. Out.